It hurts when people don't like you. You walk away from conversations and you replay in your mind, wondering, did I come across wrong? Did I say too much? Did I say the wrong things? Or did I not say enough? And you send someone a message and silence is what you get back. You notice who didn't invite you. And after a while, it starts to change the way you see yourself. You start to think there's something unlikable about you. Maybe. You can't control who likes you, actually, but you can stop doing things that quietly make people shut you out. You can become aware of what you do that makes them pull away. And I'm not saying it's always because of something you did, but it's worth looking into. And that's where real connection starts to form, maybe for the first time. Now, it's hard to face this because it means looking straight at what's been missing and at what you've been doing that you didn't even realize was putting people off. It's small things sometimes, but also big things too. They're habits that make other people feel uneasy or guarded around you or drained after they spend time with you. And most people won't tell you why. They'll just quietly go. So let's name some of these habits for what they are. And if you recognize any of them in yourself, you can decide if you're ready to do something differently. Okay? One is talking too much about yourself. When you talk more than you listen, it doesn't just bore people, it pushes them out of the conversation. They can't find a way to be part of it. You might think you're being open or relatable, but it can feel to them like you're not interested in anyone but yourself. I know that sounds harsh, right? But that's how people can tell if you're interested, is you're talking with them, about them. If you want to connect, give other people air. See what comes up after a nice open pause. Ask questions. Let silence happen. Real connection begins when both people get to exist in the same space. And I know it's hard when you're a little bit more extroverted than the other person. They have pauses, but that doesn't mean that it's time for you to speak. If you're with an introvert, give them extra time. Number 2, complaining constantly. Yeah, that pushes people away. When most conversations turn into venting or criticism, people start to avoid you. It wears them out. After a while, they stop hearing your words and they only feel the heaviness. And complaining pulls the focus of every interaction towards what's wrong with the world or with things or with people, until there's no room left for anything real or mutual. You can talk about what's hard, but not as the only thing. If you notice yourself doing it, pause and ask something about the other person. Just shift the focus. Let there be silence for a moment instead of another round of how bad things are. That's what allows people to stay near you instead of pulling back. Number 3 is giving unsolicited advice. Telling people what they should do when they didn't ask is one of the fastest ways to lose people's trust. And you might think you're helping. You want to share something that you're enthusiastic about. That's all good. But what people hear is, I know what's wrong with you and you don't. Maybe this is true, but most people, when they tell you a struggle that they're having, they're not actually asking you to fix it. They're sharing something about their inner life so that you can know them. So accept this gift. If someone tells you about a problem, pause before you answer. Just hang out and let them tell you what it is they're telling you. If you really, really want to give advice, ask if they want ideas or if they just want to be heard. That one moment of respect changes the tone completely. It tells them you see them as an equal. Number 4 thing that can make people not like you is oversharing too soon. Pouring out painful details early in a friendship doesn't make closeness. It makes people uneasy. It gives them a role they didn't agree to, like a caretaker, just a listener, a therapist. And it cuts off the natural rhythm of connection where trust grows slowly and steadily. You don't have to hide who you are, but hold back what's private until there's mutual trust. That's not caginess. It's just emotional timing. It's knowing what level of openness belongs at this stage of the friendship. The 5th thing that can make people not like you is taking offense too easily. If you read too much into every word or tone, you'll constantly feel hurt, and people will feel constantly blamed. They'll start guarding themselves. They'll measure what they say. They'll watch your reactions. That's tension. It's not friendship. Nobody likes a scold. So if your feelings are hurt, it's not necessarily proof that someone dislikes you or even that they're being unfair or harsh. They're just clumsy moments between imperfect people. So if you can let small things pass or ask calmly when something bothers you, what did that mean? People will relax around you, and that's when you start to feel included again. Number 6 is subtle put-downs and competitiveness. So you might not mean harm, but sarcasm, correcting people, or one-upping other people, it's very easy to do. Oh, that happened to me one time. You won't believe it. It sends a clear message, though, that I need to be above you. It makes people shrink away, even if you were trying to connect. You don't have to prove that you're interesting or cool. When you have real confidence, you can be happy when other people are happy and successful. Number 7 is never admitting fault. When you always explain or defend or justify yourself, it doesn't protect you. I mean, that's what you're trying to do, but it's not how it comes off. It isolates you. People stop expecting honesty from you, and that's when they start to pull back emotionally. So admitting when you're wrong is easier than you think. It draws people closer to you because it tells them you can see reality and that you care enough to say sorry and try to do a little better. And that's what makes people trust you. Number 8 is flakiness. And when you cancel plans or show up late or forget commitments, you're not just being disorganized, you're breaking connection with people. I know that's not what you mean to do, but that's how it comes out. Reliability is how people know that you care about them. Every time you follow through, you're communicating to others that they matter. And if you can't do something, just be honest about that up front. People don't mind when you say no or that you have to cancel in advance, but they're not going to like it if you say yes and then back out at the last minute. Number 9 is gossiping. Gossip feels like connection at first. Oh, look, we have something in common. We hate somebody. And in one sense, it is a kind of connection. You're bonding with somebody over something that hurts someone else. Even when they want to hear what you're saying, oh, yeah, tell me what, they're going to end up distrusting you. Because if you gossip about one person, you're going to gossip about them. That's what they'll assume. And, they're a little bit right. It's a line that we have to teach ourselves not to cross. And it might be difficult at first, but actually when you stop crossing the line and stop gossiping about other people, you're going to trust yourself more. You can choose to stop gossiping. You can change the subject gently without them even noticing that's what you're doing. That's a very nice way to do it. Or you can just say nothing. They won't even notice. Being a person who doesn't betray other people is quietly going to build people's respect for you. All right, number 10, emotional unpredictability. This can be a very tough one if you grew up with trauma, because one thing that can go with that is emotional dysregulation sometimes. Because one thing that can go with trauma is a tendency to get emotionally dysregulated. So when people never know which version of you that they're going to meet, they're going to get the calm one or the explosive one, the kind and affectionate one or the one who's cold and angry, they stop feeling safe. And it's not that you can't have feelings, but healing means you start to notice the effect that your emotions are having on others, and you're able to self-regulate. So if you feel yourself spinning out, just pause before you speak. You don't have to pretend everything's fine, but if your emotions are about to come out forcefully, you can feel it coming on you. You can tune into yourself. Find a way to take a break from the conversation. You don't have to push for a solution in the moment. That's exactly what it feels like when you're emotionally dysregulated. I have to resolve this now. Always watch out for that impulse. Only if you're in danger is that true. Sometimes you can express yourself much better in a way that doesn't hurt your friendship if you can wait until you've had a chance to steady yourself, to get some perspective, and make a conscious choice about what needs to be said. The only thing that ever allowed me to do that was a set of techniques that I call the daily practice. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of people in the comments talking about it. The daily practice is very simple. You can do those 2 techniques anywhere, and they give you emotional relief when things get intense. And it can get all the stress thoughts and the feelings out of the way when they've been cluttering your mind. And I teach those techniques in a very short, free course. I'll put the link down in the description section below this video so you can get that. It's in the top line. It's painful to realize, though, huh? It's painful that some of the distance in your life didn't come from bad luck, but from your own behavior. And it's painful because you've wanted closeness your whole life and you couldn't see what was in the way. But you can learn this. These are learnable skills: communication, steadiness, attunement, gentleness. Now, you may never have been shown this, but you can start now. And if you want a step-by-step guide, you don't have to do it yourself. I wrote a whole book about it. Here it is. It's called Connectability, and I'll put a link to it in the second line of the description section right below this video. And you can get it on Amazon or online booksellers, anywhere. And when you learn to be connectable, people respond. Not all at once, but steadily. They will relax around you. They include you. They trust you. They want to be your friend. Not because you finally became, popular, though, I always thought that would be nice, but because you became someone who feels peaceful to be around, solid, kind, real. Now, you can't control how people feel about you, but you can learn to live in a way that invites connection instead of driving it off. And that, finally, is where real belonging begins. If you like this video, I've got one that you're going to love right here, and I'll see you very soon. Well, this is how friendships fall apart. This kind of thing is how it falls apart. And it's not your fault you got this way. This is a really common and normal response to having grown up with trauma. But, of course, we all want to work on it and learn to handle it even better.